Hi, everyone. Can I just start, or should we wait? Can we start? OK, hi, everyone. My name is Angelo Sebastianelli. As my accent will tell you, I'm Italian, so sorry for my accent, but I hope you will understand that. So today, I'm here to tell you how we can simplify the real-time streaming without the need of PhD to process data in real time. Since we are, I have that one. Since we are here, I thought it was good to start with something around AI. So even the best AI agent cannot really work well if the data behind him is not accurate, is not up to date, and so on. That's why I decided to show you a quick video how that could work in case your data is not up to date. So the idea here is to show just a booking agent. So I think many of you got the flight canceled on Sunday. So if you want to rebook your flight, you may have used something like that. So you see the agent is able to reason quite well, and is also proposing some alternative. But given that the data is not up to date, even a few seconds or few minutes, when the user will try to book his flight, basically the booking failed because the data or the flight is no more available. That's why we think that it's important to have real-time data or accurate data for the agent. Otherwise, you can create the best agent ever, but the result will always be not very good, I would say. Let's move to the next slide. So let's start with something around real-time. So real-time is important not only for AI, but it's also important for normal business process, I would say, like orders, cancellation, stock movement, and so on. So all this data is part of our company. We all have this company, but most of the company basically are unable to act on this data. So the problem is not that data is not available. The problem is how to access this data, how to process this data. We all know there are many frameworks around that to process this data in real time, but often there is a huge barrier to deal with that because you need to deal with complex real-time processing framework like Flink, Spark, or you need to deal with Kafka, you need to manage it, you need expert in Java, Scala, or any other programming language, and not all the companies have this kind of ability or this kind of skills. So, to move next year. Oops. So let's quantify that in different industry. Of course, this is a problem that can apply to any industry. Here, just a few industries like finance. So usually, real-time is applied to fraud detection. And this is a problem if you cannot do that, because every dollar that you lost in fraud usually is not just $1 cost. Usually, the cost is 4 times bigger. Plus, of course, you have all this reputation damage. The same is for retail, so there are problems managing the warehouse. How you can manage that in real time can make a huge difference. So you can, usually, there are analysts that have calculated that the cost of not dealing with warehouse in real time costs around $1 million per company per year. Here's the 1.1 trillion in total. And the same applies to healthcare and technology. So we see that it's really important to have data in real time, but of course also data that has high quality. And we want to do that. Many companies want to do that, but we have seen that it's not always possible because you need very high-skilled people that deal with complex framework, with complex technology. And beside that, you also have exponential data growth. You have also a lot of company dealing with multi-cloud, a lot of company dealing with new type of data. So all these barriers make the stream processing even more difficult. So many companies basically give up on doing that. And for us, that we are dealing at technical level with those kind of technology, we spend most of the time dealing with changes, with new regulation, but we are not really able to deal with new use cases because we are spending time trying to fix new schema, new requirement, and most of the time we write that in programming language that the business user cannot understand that, so that makes even more difficult. That's why we think that a new solution can be useful for many of the companies that do not have the skill to deal with this complex framework, a solution that allow to do this stream processing in an easy way, with a drag and drop, very easy user interface that allow to do this in-flight data transformation that can run on-prem or on cloud or the edge, wherever you need. At the same time, that is that protect you from data drift. So if the data changes, everything as usually happen to our business process, you want that the process continue to run. That's why today we are presenting StreamSets, so a tool that allow you to do real-time data streaming at enterprise grade, but does not require you to have the PhD to do stream processing. And here you can see that we can basically stream data from any source, process this data, and write that in any target. And now I want to just go deeper in some of the screenshots of the functionality to show you how that looks and feel. So here is the user interface where you can basically develop your pipeline. As you see, is like building a slide. So you just drag and drop the element. Each of these elements just need to be configured to read or write data to, or to process the data. And while you are developing this application, you can always see what happened to the data before and after each of these changes. And there are basically 200 of these stages that allow you to process the data, to read the data, and to write the data. So you just need to select them and to connect that. Here are some of the functionality that you have. So you can definitely verify the data. You can standardize this data, cleanse and enrich, and everything is done in these stages as the data is passing through without going through different stages in order to process the data. But of course, 95% of the data of the pipeline is done with this drag and drop user interface, but there are edge cases where you may want to go a mile extra, and there we offer the possibility to use scripting like Groovy, Java, or Python that allow you also to go the extra mile in case you need it. So, and this is for the developers. Of course, also data architects are impact from that because the platform can run on-prem, on cloud, or on the edge. At the same time, does not make any difference if you are reading from system in the cloud or on-prem, or writing from on-prem on the cloud. And the same applies to the data format. So we can process structured data like table, unstructured like JSON, or document like unstructured data, and process this data as we read it. And of course, you want this pipeline to be reliable. And here you see that you can easily, with just a few configuration, define scalability and high availability of the process. Another important point is the data drift. So we are, as I said, often we have changes in data structure, data infrastructure, and we have to deal with that. Usually we spend a lot of time to deal with these changes. So what to do if someone is adding a new schema or is adding a new field. So here, since a platform is reading the schema on read, so we do not have problem if the data is changing. So the pipeline will continue to run and adapt to these changes. At the same time, there is the possibility to notify the business user for some changes. Let's say that there was a new field, what do you want to do? Or to react to these changes. At the same time, the same pipeline can run, in this case, you can read some files and write in Snowflake, but based on the engine, so you can just change the destination. In this case, you can move the same data to Databricks without changing the pipeline. The software can be SaaS, so fully managed by us, so you don't need to care about that, or can be, of course, on-prem if you require that to be for security reason or any other reason can be managed by you, so you can deploy that on Software Hub and let that run as you require. And last but not least, just a quick summary. I see they didn't send you the update slides, okay. So here, just a quick summary of what we have seen. So stream processing is something needed for normal business cases, but also for AI. And we need a tool that allows us to do that easily without the need of PhD. And we have seen a simple user interface that allows us to create this pipeline just with the drag and drop that allow you to do stream processing and without, so just on the fly, and you can run this pipeline either on-prem, on the cloud, and when they are running, you can always monitor that. There is a monitoring infrastructure. Last but not least, I would say the data drift protection. So whenever the pipeline will change, the pipeline will data. Whenever the data is changing and the schema is changing, the pipeline will continue to run and adapt to these changes. And yeah, with that is the last slide. Unfortunately, they didn't send. Okay, there is the slide here. But StreamSets just was acquired by IBM, and now is part of what we call Watsonx data integration. So all this experience that works for streaming will be part of what, or actually is part of Watsonx data integration, a tool that with the one single plane will allow you to do real-time streaming, but not only because it's not everything is real-time, but will also allow you to do data replication, will also allow you to do data integration at batch mode. We have a data observability capability in it, and of course will run on cloud, on-prem, or the hybrid environment. So at the end, you will have one single platform that will allow you to deal with all these use cases without the need of having to change every time a new tool. So here just how this looks like. So a bit of experience, what you can expect. So you will have one single interface and where you can deploy and manage and create this pipeline. And of course, then the engine behind the scene will be selected based on your use case. There is also a part around the automatic generation of this pipeline. Unfortunately, it's not part of the presentation here, but if you will stop by at our stand, we will show you the agentic creation of the pipeline, so you can just type your requirement in the chat, and the agent will create the pipeline for you. Understand if you need that to be batch or streaming. But yeah, I will have a demo at the stand there or the booth, so you can just stop by and see how we can create a data pipeline with the agentic AI. Thank you.